Dorian here. So in this video I want to show you a very cool symmetrical fingering, but that actually works really well in a Dorian context. And Dorian is just a natural minor scale with a natural 6. So we got 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6 instead of the flat 6 and then a flat 7. So it's like a minor scale with a bit of a lift to it. The scale position here, this can be used in different contexts as well, but for this video we're just going to focus on getting this Dorian blues type mix sound. So before I show you this position, you can just listen to this lick, and this is just a legato phrase that goes through both positions and then ends up with the pentatonic scale at the very end. So it sounds like this. Right, so what I played here was this. Alright, so it's basically easiest to visualize this in the context of this day 1 A minor pentatonic position, which you should know. If you don't know that, you should probably pause this video and, run to the nearest bookstore, which you don't actually need to do. But back in the day you had to do that, but now you can just Google A minor pentatonic and you got everything you need. If you haven't done that, do that first, but I think most of you that are watching my videos have probably got through that at least. So we're gonna start here with this fingering. I said symmetrical, and it's kind of symmetrical, but it's not symmetrical in the same sense as what I just played now, which is the octatonic scale or diminished scale. But it's symmetrical in terms of the fingerings here. So the first time I've sort of started using this scale position was this. So I have these the top of this day 1 shape, but then I just added the 9th here, the 2nd, and then the 6th, which would be our Dorian note, and then I added the flat 5 on this string, so I had the same fingering. And you can hear this. Paul Gilbert's playing a lot. That wasn't very Paul Gilbert-ish, but he uses this a lot. I've seen Yngwie use it. I think I've seen so many people use it. It's a very cool sounding position, basically, and it's very easy to remember because it's symmetrical in the sense that it's the same fingering on each string. But the intervals here are what's important, right? So we got the flat 3, the 2nd, the root, flat 7, this natural 6, the Dorian note, the 5th, the flat 5, the 4th, and the minor 3rd again. So basically we have a complete Dorian scale with a flat 5, but I just see it and hear it as a Dorian blues scale mix. So now later on I found out that if you play this fingering, you actually get the same notes. And as you can see here, this is also symmetrical in the sense that we have 1, 2, 4 now instead. So this is very comfortable for most people to play. This one might take a bit more work if not use it, but that's why I think it's good to work on doing symmetrical exercises as well. We focus on 1, 2, 4 and 1, 3, 4. And if you're really thorough, 1, 2, 3 and 2, 3, 4. Because of this reason, because especially 1, 2, 4 and 1, 3, 4 pop up in pretty much anything you're going to play on the instrument. But back to the scale position in question. So we have the 6th here now, flat 7, root, 2nd, flat 3, 4, flat 5, 5, and then the 6th. So basically the same notes, just jumbled around a bit. But it's very cool that you can play this. Very easy to remember and very easy to come up with different ideas as well and just play around. So I'm just going to show you the lick now that I did in the beginning, but you have the tabs available on my Patreon, so you can check that out. And you also have the scale shape there if you want to check it out. And just to be complete here, you can also add this one here, so 3, 5, 7 if you're in the key of A, to this symmetrical fingering, so you can actually play it from this point all the way up. And obviously you can add the other notes here as well, But I think usually for me, when I use it, I tend to see this, and it flows so well into this position. So it's very easy to come up with cool sounding phrases. Anyway, back to the lick. So focus here. So we start here, and I just go up like that, slide up, and go up this one. And from here, just a pentatonic scale. So. And the way that I picked this, I use hybrid picking, but you have so many notes on each string, so you can actually do that as well. And I don't pick on the way down. So it's all hammer-ons from nowhere. And obviously, I slow down a bit here when I played it in the better audio version, but that's because we get the 2 notes per string here, so you don't necessarily need to do that. Just something that happened, and I went with that. So it doesn't really matter since it was played in free time. But so there you have it. I would suggest that you Google a Dorian backing track and then try to play around with it in that context and see what you can come up with. Basically, it's a lot of fun. But I would suggest though that you check out the tabs, because I have the intervals written out here. So it's very important for your ears to understand what you're hearing, because if you can relate this sound, the natural 6 in a minor context, with the Dorian sound, then you've learned quite a lot, right? Because if you really nail this sound, and by nail it I mean name it, so every time it pops up in any context and you hear that, oh, that's that note again, instead of just being like, oh, that's that note again, you're never going to remember it. But if you go like, oh, it's that Dorian note to the 6th, the natural 6 in a minor context. So after a certain amount of time, you're going to hear someone playing and you're going to know exactly what you're hearing. And that's basically how ear training works. You just put names on sounds and do that over and over again, and eventually they will stick, and then you can hear stuff and recognize it even without your instrument. And I think that's a very cool concept, and it takes no talent at all. It's the same mechanism as you being able to recognize. I'm not even going to play a riff here in case you don't know it. Believe it or not, I play this for some students, and they don't even know what it is. So I'm not going to do that to you. That was smoke on the water, by the way, if you didn't recognize it. But basically, that's the same mechanism when you listen to stuff as well. So if you can recognize your favorite songs, which I think you can do, you will be able to put names on sounds as well. So kind of besides the point of this lesson, but I think it's very important to understand what you're learning and what you're playing. You don't need to think about it as you're playing, but if you do this every time you learn something new, your ears are gonna really improve a lot in quite a short period of time. So that's all I have for today. Hope you like it. See you in the next one. Back in the day, I used to have real issues with fast alternate picking when it came to 2 notes per string. I was fine with 3 notes per string, but the 2 notes per string thing was a bit harder to crack. So if you struggle with fast alternate picking as well, and you don't know what to practice or for how long, I've created the perfect solution for you in the form of the Pentatonic Picking Power Book. So in this book, you'll find a daily workout that will not only help your pentatonic picking, but will also upgrade your overall alternate picking technique. So it contains basically the same exercises I use myself to develop my picking abilities, as well as numerous students over the years that I've given the same exercise to with great results. So I know these exercises work as long as you put in the work. So it's not a quick solution or quick fix. It will still take a lot of work, but at least you have a very easy to follow routine. So if you're up for a big alternate picking upgrade in 2024, I cannot think of a better start.